Hello, BAME Farm fans. So what are we taking apart today? I got the hood off, and for safekeeping, I should put that back on. There we go, radiator's capped. Well, so we have an exhaust leak, and really the problem is, down there in the darkness, you can't see it. I can barely see it because it's so like blackened by soot. The intake port of, I don't want to say intake, but the entrance to the muffler is well rusted out. And also, we have that. That's probably from being bent and unbent a few times because, you know, the exhaust on this thing might, catch a tree branch or something dumb every once in a while. So, we're gonna do something about that. We got a new muffler, and somebody's gonna go on and on about, why didn't you get a muffler eliminator? Well, the dumb thing is that muffler eliminators have become so popular that the exhaust is actually cheaper than the muffler eliminator kit to put on here. So that's fun. The muffler was less than $200 through all states. I think that's where we got it from. So we're gonna put that on. Oh yeah, I know, tractor is old, got a little bit of grease, but underneath this grease, we'll say there is, paint, and the grease is protecting the paint. It's not too thick, we can still see the IH in the casting, and mostly that's probably soot from these exhaust leaks, because it has everything thoroughly black. But hey, on the 88 series, they went to painting like everything black, so if it was leaking oil, soot, whatever, you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. We're just catching up with the times. It wants to be an 88 series at heart, we'll say. So, in all the darkness, you can kind of see maybe some of the problems with the inlet there. Maybe this is the original muffler. 10,000 hours later, yep, it developed. And there's a leak there, that crack. Okay, that is a factory dent. I didn't notice that. I saw that on the new one. I wasn't sure if somebody dropped it in shipping. Well, that's obviously not good. And, it's just dark in the turbo because of soot and stuff. That's what exhaust does. So. Hey, well, conveniently, the new muffler is painted black. So, between the soot and the black paint, we can't see much in the darkness. I just had, you can kind of see some of the marks in the paint right down there. I take the vice grips and try to flare the edge a little bit. It was too perfectly sized. The opening of the muffler here just kind of slides over the turbo. Let's see if I can put it up here one-handed. It's not a loose fit. Then there's no clamps because the turbo has to expand and contract, and so does the muffler here with the heat. That's a good place to put you guys. Hopefully you can see now a little bit. There we go. Now come down and look. Yeah, that's a tight fit right there. And it just starts over, but I have to move it almost an inch to get the holes to line up. So hopefully we can somehow wiggle it over. Not much room for a hammer, so we're gonna have to do this in a very gentle fashion. And why would we use a hammer on brand new parts? That should be disassembly, not assembly. Well, you folks will get a kick out of this. My new crazy idea for putting on the muffler to get it to fit over the turbo outlet. It's going to be with this ratchet strap. I don't want to hammer on it, that's really loud. And I don't know if I have an easy way. It'll just be a guess and check. I can sit there with the vice grips and try to keep bending it, but I have it started It's just pulling it down snug. And there's nothing that goes there to hold it tight anyways. Like there's no clamp, it's just kind of a tight friction fit. So I've got it woven through. Took the panel off the other side for good measure. And now let's see what we can break. Hopefully this works, or it's just gonna pull it crooked. Well, this is somewhat working. I had to take the grinder and edit the turbo side of life, make sure all the soot, and probably took a few bits of metal off to get this to work. And right now I can see light through the holes. So success is not far off, but it's been a well-fought battle, we'll say. I'm trying to get one of them close enough to get started, but I'm just off by enough. So with enough ratcheting and a little bit of a rubber hammer, rubber mallet is our friend right now. Because if it was a metal hammer, it'd be very loud. Plus we need to be nice to our essentially just thick sheet metal muffler. I wish I could get back behind here. We're testing, I guess, the strength of the front, you know, cast iron, whatever you want to call the front end, the grill support and everything. It's time to give it another push. Oh. Yeah, we're running out of range of motion, and I know we're probably full capacity on the strap. Test how well our exhaust manifold's bolted to the head. Come on, half more of a tooth. That's what I was afraid of. Ow. It's only the second or third time I've done that. And what we run into is it works its way down because it's oval, it comes off. And I'm sure we didn't get enough pull on that. No, we are still a small bit off. Just a small bit, we're close. That painfully close moment. This is a very joyous moment. I'm getting the first bolt in, 3 more to go, but the first one is at least half the battle. Now I can remove my strap. I got the top too far in, and I got the strap pulling the bottom one in. The strap's been tremendously useful. I am worried about this a little bit. Because I just tapped holes into the sheet metal, and I'm hoping that I won't have to put a nut or something on top of my bolt, assuming I didn't just cross thread this thing all the way home. Based on the little sliver ribbon of metal coming out the top of the hole. Now we're getting, plus we gotta pull this thing down too. This could be an exercise in bad things right here, where the old muffler at least had a nut welded instead of just trying to tap and thread that metal. So we're back. A few days later, we finally have this new elbow piece. This is the second one. The first one was a 1/2 inch too big around. And so it worked with the Muffler Eliminator kit. And this elbow came from a different manufacturer or a different place of business. than the Muffler, because they didn't sell the smaller tube. And in the one catalog, there was no differentiation anywhere about the diameter. The second place that we ordered this one from, they made a note when somebody ordered this about getting, the right size clamp. And the note about the clamp kind of delineated what size tube this was. So once we get this all together, we'll have a solidly straight exhaust system. Hopefully all our holes line up. And I don't mean the bolt holes, those will work. I'm talking about that. There's not a whole lot of adjustment there. Ooh, that's one thing I need to look into, is the overflow hose. I need to trim a little bit off the original one. Oh, this is not starting well. Uh-oh. There's always something. Except we didn't end that properly because we're not under that middle section. I don't want to sit there and take that loose. So I've elected to cheat and just open up the center. To make that work. Everybody get along nicely and go back where you came from. Hopefully all the bolts line up. This panel's back on. Time to put the exhaust pipe back on and see just how fast the 1086 looks. Well, this new elbow's a little extra straight. They left some room. And I think the exhaust pipe may lean a little forward. This is at least the second exhaust. It was shiny, but exhaust things get baked and then they kind of rust. I need to get this on. Well, actually, we're probably about as far as it's going to go. If we can see inside our cut there. You may not, but we're all the way down on the available pipe. I guess we'll go with a nice straight back shot. I can't really stick it out because I'm gonna start hitting the barn here. I just want to make sure we get the exhaust well over the cab. At least today is warm enough. I have no good reason to start the tractor, but we can, for good measure. That way we make sure our alternator is charging. And also check to see if we get gassed out still. Okay, that's as tight. Let's check.